Tervetuloa takaisin Phoenix Wright Ace Attorneyin läpipeluuseen. On mahdollisesti ehkä toiseksi viimeinen video luvassa. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth, knowing you already figured it out. Who the one of the 77777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it. Niin sä oot sitä mieltä, että se 77777 on Lanan ID-numero. I figured you'd say it as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. No one's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid, today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Yeah. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Algie, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been running enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can stop that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Any day now. Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Joanna, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana. You can't. Joanna, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana, Joanna, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. While the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation, her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears that there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. When Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Kent. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me that some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not a runner operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Joanna, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Grant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark, of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember that this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an accident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. He sure gave it fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 3 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Two years ago, I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Bill Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out and I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. pressata mitään näissä. Antaa vaan tämän juosta. Ehkä me päästään asioissa eteenpäin, kun pressataan. Saadaan lisätietoa. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under the deputy chief of police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Guy used to be quite a pair. I believe they share the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Mama promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. A man? Yes, Joe Dog. He was a serial killer. Joe Dog was brought in for questioning on the day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled to the room right. Upon fleeing through, Doug proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Doug's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that would also be why he was the first to run after Doug. When Doug grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw at that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Doug. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of the year. There was a terrible storm going on. A lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. It was pitch dark in that room. You shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hello. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Ask about the picture. This picture, the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. No, mä voisin presentata jo, mutta pressataan vielä vähän. Kuunnellaan, mitä se on sanottava. You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. Poistetaan. Jos mulla sitä kuvaa ei olisi, niin kyllähän se pystyisi piirtämään se uudestaankin, mutta jos sillä ei ole mitään pointtia, mutta that's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died. Yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken. But I drew it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it. This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. This scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe to us? Tässä kuinka tämä loppuu? The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. That must have been a shock, a real shock. Even now when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that your dog was holding you hostage. When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on the dog. I was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie, but Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Eli tämä. Ja se oli... Tämän takana ei. Mikä lappu se nyt sitten oli tämä? Tämä. Miss Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. Huh. Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor of that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SM9 incident. Please turn it over, Johanna. Turn it over. Then it... Ah! What's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Well, the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. These lists, they are different from each other. What? My words exactly. It would appear, Miss Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one, nothing. Tämähän oli mun arvaus. No, toinen lisäarvauksista. You can see the marks here, where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened 2 years ago. Only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order. But, Miss Guy, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman had been in the questioning room, Joanna. Wait a minute. If that list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If that evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. Is that thing? That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Piece of evidence in the assembly incident. Half of this list was found in Gant's desk. Evidence list restored and updated in the courtroom record. Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at this picture. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lighting was so bright, all I could see were shadows. With that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about the murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first I saw in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Kant and Lana Sky. 2 or 3 days later, the memory should have been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lighting was so bright, and I was knocked, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Clark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lighting flashed. Poor Emma, I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? At that I must have fainted. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove out the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. You really need to torture this girl any further. What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out, or he might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. It's a picture I drew. Jaa. Tuo puukko. Se on jo katki tässä. Hey. Joanna, what do you think about the witness statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts the I thought. You don't sound very convinced, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. No mitä hitto. Sillä ei ole sitä sen hattua päässä. Ei. Meneekö tämäkin nyt uusiksi? Mun mielestä tässä ei ole mitään vikaa, mutta Phoenix mielestä tässä on jotain vikaa. Näytänkö mä tätä lappua nyt? En tiedä miksi, mutta ei. Sama kuva. There's clearly a contradiction here. Se pukuttaa sen vasemmalla kädellä. Mutta miten mä todistan jotain, mitä mä en ole ite nähnyt? Missä mulla ei ole mitään muita todistusaineistoa tapahtumassa kuin tämä? Siinä kunnosta sen Goodmanin naamaa tässä. Ei. Sehän oli se pointti alun perin, että kun ne tarvii sitä tekaistua todistusaineistoa. Eman tää todistus ei ollut kauhean vedenpitävä. Eikä parempaa käsimään. No siinä oli kuva siinä toisella puolella tästä. Ei, uusiksi mennyt. Palataan tähän. Kun pääsen tähän takaisin. Mä koitan vielä keksiä tähän jotain ratkaisua, mutta kyllä yhden feilauksen jälkeen nyt katson mitä mun pitää tehdä. No niin, montakas tässä. Tämä on se kuva, mikä se piirti, ja Phoenix väittää, että siinä on joku contradiction. Tästä kun me pressataan, me voidaan katsoa ihan oikea kuva, mitä siinä tapahtuu. Oliko se aikaisempi? Sillä on vasen käsi siinä, sillä ei ole hattua päässä. Se on maassa. Se puukko. Mä koitin näyttää sitä. Se piirsin sen tylpäksi. Mitä mä missaan? Se on oikeesti tuo ideassa enemmän. Se on vähemmän siinä se edessä tässä kuvassa. Se yläosa ei näkynyt siinä kuvassa. Mut mä koitin jo sitä puukkoa. Sitä on sitten tekaistu puukko, eikö se näin ollut? Tää kyllä ihan ruuvimessiltäkään näytä. Koitetaan vielä tätä, kun nyt on niin sokka-ampumissa kuin vaan voi. Tää jotenkin liittyy asiaan, mutta millä tavalla, miten se liittyy millä tavalla tähän, niin en tiedä. Ei liity millään tavalla. Alright, katsotaan. Mitä hittoa mun pitää tehdä? Pieni hetki. Okei, se tulee lukemaan pikkusen enemmän kuin tuli tarpeellista, mutta siis... Tähän pitää näyttää sitä tää... Neil's autopsy report stopped in the back, coming from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. I had to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains blatant contradiction. What? But still, I still remember it just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? No, siinä ruumiinavausraportissa sanotaan, että se on isketty sen selkään. Tässä näyttää ehkä olevan silleen niinku vähemmän selkä siihen päin, enemmän rinta siihen päin. tema mukana. I think it's this spot here. Mandancy was strange about that. That's because the drawing stinks. Mr. Wright, how could you? The act of making an innocent girl cry could warrant the death penalty. I guess he means I won't shift the blame to others. Yes, well, so long as defense has learned his lesson. I'd better take another look at the autopsy report in this picture. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you all... En mä pysy katsomaan sitä autopsireporttia. The contradiction of course lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see it's tip broken. No mä yritin näyttää tätä jo aikaisemmin. Sillä puukolla. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Objection! And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not be yet be broken. Ah, what's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Ashworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? There's something called falsified evidence. You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Kuinka monta objectionia tuossa oikein äsken tuli? Ainakin 4. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, New Marshal questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Kent. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being 2 broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? There have been one. No, ihan oikeasti sanottuna, niin mä oon kyllä ihmetystä, että minkä takia niitä on pitänyt laittaa sinne väärennetty puukko. Mutta tämä puukko, mikä meillä on, niin sehän ei vastunut sitä Marshallin sitä haavaa. Siellä on oltava toinenkin puukko. There is another one. The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. Assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. He has a real murder weapon. Tää olisi väärennetty. Mulla ei tule mitään muuta mieleen kuin tämä. Tää on vähän niinku poikki oleva puukko. Tosin no, katsotaan. If anything is broken here, it's you. Huh. I'm sure this must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. But may I remind you that the fate of Miss Lansky hangs in the balance. So sorry, Anna. Please give me another chance. Sirpalit tästä. No, nähdään nyt tätä näin. Mun mielestä tää on se väärä puukko, mutta tää niinku nimenomaan niinku, mikä meillä on tosiaan ollut mielessä koko ajan. Ja tää ei ole se. Mut kaikki muu on sitten hyvin suurta hakuammuntaa. Uusiksi menee tämäkin taas kyllä. Alright, no. Hajunnut pala tästä. Niin muuten. Zoom ei toimi. Ei kun se on zoom out. Zoom in. Tässä piti olla jotain näytöstä sitten. Ei sitten oikein näy kyllä. Mut tässä jossain palassa oli verta. Would make sense. Uusiksi meni. Mä sitten. Ja taas uusiksi. Mikä se sitten voi olla? Ei se Edgeworthin knife ole. No, palataan tohon sitten kun ollaan valmiita. Tai siis valmiita kun... Sitten kun päästään takas tohon. Jos mä en väärin tietä sitä arvais, niin mä voisin väittää, että se oli väärä vaihtoehto hyväksyä se, että siinä olisi toinen puukko. Mut koska mä en pysty peruuttamaan sitä mun päätöstä, niin kyllä siinä joku toinen puukko on, mutta muuta sitten keksitty, mikä se sitten on. Koitan vielä kerran. keksiä, että mikä se mahtaa olla ja sitten kuluttaan taas. Jatketaan. Okei, mä tiedän, että tää on väärin, mutta mä haluan tietää, mitä tapahtuu, jos mä sanon emas mistaken. Ehkä mä voisin välttyä siltä, että näyttää sitten mikä se toinen oikea murhaa on. Ehkä mä oppin alaisesta tästä. Broken knives don't just grow on trees. There's no way there was another one. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe the witness must be mistaken. I know it. You really don't believe me. That flash of lightning burned an unforgettable image in her mind. One that's been torturing her ever since. There's no way Emma could be mistaken. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of her, what she saw, okay, se ei ollut mitään välillä tämä olisi. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Mä tajusin. Tämä. Tästä jossain syystä puuttuu se miekka. Joko tämä tai se kuva? If anything's broken here, it's... The answer lies in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here, inside this picture. This is the picture of the award ceremony. What is this message worth? It's the broken murder weapon. What is the award prosecutor Marshall is holding? That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Job Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he didn't carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man read the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? This list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you have recalled, Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Tormi. Krampas ja tuplaklikkasi. Ei ole ensimmäinen kerta. Olen tehnyt sitä monesti. Final Fantasy 14. Se oli ensimmäinen kerta, kun tässä tapahtui. Ei ole ensimmäinen kerta, kun vahingossa Faikasta klikannut vahingossa dialogia pois. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please, don't proceed this any further. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We have already come to this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we are finally getting to the core of the matter. When I saw that man raise his knife. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dog? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I could really see were shadows. The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports. So then you... I panicked and rushed towards both of them. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Doug was the one holding the knife. But as we have just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife. Well, I didn't know that at the time. And the dark guy knocked me down. All I could think was, I've got to help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. What do you mean you think? It happened. All happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly, but I did. It's all kind of a blur. This guy was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, this disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall, and I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course. See, I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought of this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remember. Oh brother, just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw him, his shadow. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face, with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really? Kyllä mun on keksittävä jotain. I just might know. Katsotaan mitä muuta löytyy. The blue badger hadn't even been jammed up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on the fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looks similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright. In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger lookalike. Se puhuu 3 sarvesta. Mulla oli ensimmäisenä mielessä tämä, mutta... Katsotaan mitä näissä oli. Varkenotti, ei. Ei. Tää vaasi. Se olisi vähän niinku, että siinä on 3 sarvea. Se kun kääntää ylös alas, niin se voisi olla se mitä se piirti. Nyt on kyllä vähän kaukaa haettu taas, mutta... The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jaw. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jaw. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I got to show them the correct angle to look at this. This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger. Objection! Allow me to remind the defense that its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept this claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more. Or horizontally? Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. I got to show them. No, eikö se nyt ollut jo? Mä yritän panna dieta. Well, is this a miracle or what? Might this just resemblance to the blue badger? No. It can't be. Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witness of the day of the crime was actually this. Objection! Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's for the dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So, that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Objection! I'm afraid that's where you are wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us. What's the difference now that we know the witness saw this jar? Siellä huoneessahan sitä verta oli siinä vasemmalla puolella. Vasemmalla puolella sitä huonetta. Mutta se ruukku oli oikealla. Eikö se näin ollut? Olisiko mä ihan väärin? Mitä siellä oikealla oli? Eikö siellä oikealla oli se haarniska? Ja me todettiin, että se... Mä en nyt ala muuttamassa mun väitä sitä aseesta, joten se murhaaja. Mutta millä tavalla se murhaaja? Yritäänkö me nyt vaan kääntää sen että tosiaan, mitä me aluksi teorisoitiin, että se pitää paikkansa. Ja että mikä toki oli Eman mielestä. Vaihdetaan Eman mielipidettä asiasta. No koetaan The Murderer. Emma penalasi tästä, jos mä sanon tämän väärin. Want me to take this in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this charm. At a very specific angle, I might add, Miss Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this charm? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken the day of the crime. On the shelf in the office of Dan Kant. The body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified to saw herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Kant's office. I went round the murderer moved the victim's body. From Dan Kant's office to Lana Sky's office. Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what the reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to the picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, What would he have eaten? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. Eli siis ne kaikki vastaukset piti paikkansa. Lokaatio murhaa se sekä murhaaja, johonka päästään ehkä kohta. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, building the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. Niin, siis eli se tökkäsi sen siihen armoriin, joka johti siihen, että se keihäs iskeytyi Marshallin selkään. Ja näin ollen murhaaja on... Mikä se nimi oli? Emma. Ja sen takia Lana haluaa pysäyttää tämän kaiken. Se ei halua, että Emma joutuu syytetyksi. Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Ja näin ollen murhaaja on eri, niin kuin minä eka ajattelin, mutta en nyt ihan ajatellut Emaa. You mean, Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Guy, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I say you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you are talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you are going to have to prove. You are going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. Since without evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Guy. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean that there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Wedgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. Mä kyllä niin en haluaisi niinku nyt saattaa emaa vankilaan. Väitän, että doesn't exist. No. There's no way a dead person could tell the murderer's name. Well, it looks like this is as far as we can go with this. Mr. Wright, you disappoint me. I never thought you're the type to let feelings cloud your judgment. My feelings? Ehkä vähän. If we overlook the victim's message, one he would have written with literally his last breath, then everything will be lost in darkness. Perhaps that thing really is the clue I'm looking for. This is it. I can't afford any more mistakes. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Jälleen kerran sillä ei ollut mitään väliä, mitä mä sanoin. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Guy. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased. Miksi mun pitäisi näyttää? Pistäkää Ashworth näyttämään se. Ei mulla ole hajuakaan. Hörppä kahvia. Tässä näkyy, että dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Ehkä se on koittanut piirtettämään naisia. Tää on piirretty silloin, kun tää on ollut vielä niinku ehjä. Koska nää yhdistyy. Minä kai se olisi ollut ehjä. Tämä mahdollisesti. tää liittyy siihen, mutta tää on sieltä. No se on jompikumpi näistä. En tiedä miten tämä liittyy tähän, mutta ehkä tämä. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just pick the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, showing blood. So what you are saying is that these dots were once lines. Ei ollut kyllä se mikä mulla oli mielessä, mutta okei, mennään sillä. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. Wanted someone apparently wiped it away. The blood must have seeped in the jar where the lines changed direction. Precisely so. All we have to do is connect these points. The victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Sky. Right. Miksi mulla oli myös Sky? Koska mä ajattelin, että siitä tekstistä tulee Sky. What kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. We got to connect the dots to make a letter. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Hieno koira. Näistä pitäis... mä näen. Tästä tulee E. Tästä tulee M. Ja tästä tulee A. Ei kun... Pistään näin. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their clan's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought that it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Kent, do you understand the implications of what you have done? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Chodak was sentenced to death. was convicted because of his farm murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Yes, were because of you. An innocent man was sentenced to death. Säkert I know all of them can shoot. Not only that, but you used false evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murder. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We are merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Was crying arm at the prosecutor's office. They might have sent an innocent man to his death. He can just stand there like it wasn't his fault. How can he stand? Order! 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 The governor's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Not good. Not good at all. No, kiitos kun katsoitte ja jos ensi video olisi tämän pelin viimeinen video, ehkäpä, ei huolta. Tässä on kokonainen trilogia tulossa, mutta katsotaan.